Meanwhile, back home, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation on Wednesday increased the pump price of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, to 151 naira 56 kobo per litre. A subsidiary of the NNPC, the Pipeline and Products Marketing Company, announced the new price a day after the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria called for an increase to around 155 naira per litre. Well, the new guiding retail price took effect immediately as part of efforts to keep the downstream petroleum deregulation measures. The chairman, OTL Africa Downstream, Emeka Akabogu, joins us now to preview the impact of the new pump price. Good morning, Mr. Akabogu. Thanks for joining us on the program. Let's begin by asking you what you make of the new price of petrol increased to 151 naira 56 kobo per litre. Of course, I know that the marketers are also holding a meeting currently, but tell us your reaction to all of this.
Well, the increase which we have seen based on the issuance by the PPMC is in line with the deemed deregulation of the markets. If, as has been indicated, the government was no longer going to be subsidizing petroleum products, then at every point in time, you must have the price at which petroleum products are obtained from the markets reflecting actual costs. So what we do have is the PPMC issuing ex-depot prices for 151 naira thereabouts. I am not sure, I'm not aware that PPPRA has issued the monthly guiding price for September. So the monthly guiding price for September, which should be what should be the retail price, could ultimately be higher than that 151, which I believe is an ex-depot by PPMC. So that's the scenario. Ideally, it should be the PPPRA issuing a monthly guiding price for retail to guide the markets, by which I mean the consumers, because it's the price of PPPRA that that all petrol stations are bound to comply with. PPMC pricing probably will only just be ex-depot. So as it is, and if we recall, last month, the PPPRA did not issue a monthly guiding price. And we had a situation where it was actually the marketers themselves who took the initiative to ensure that they set some kind of pricing based on the PPMC pricing. So it is important at this time that PPPRA clarifies this pricing situation so that every one of us is clear as to what should be the guiding retail price. Otherwise, we may have a situation where the marketers are able to issue what they believe should be fair in the circumstances, which may or may not be in line with what PPPRA is intending.
But while we await clarification from the PPPRA, just as you've mentioned, now, of course, we've seen the marketers complying to this new directive. But then many Nigerians are asking the question that how justified is it anyway to increase the price of petrol at this point, especially as many are still reeling from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, that is a question which should be put to the government and not to the marketers. The marketers, I believe, will only respond to the price at which they get the products from NNPC, in this case, PPMC. So the government, in its wisdom, has deemed it important to deregulate pricing of petroleum products. I think the reality, and I think, as I mentioned the last time, the sooner Nigerians get to realize that we can't eat our cake and have it, the better for us. The government has realized that it can't sustain subsidies. Even though in the last couple of days, there's been news that subsidies were paid in the month of June. But I'm aware that the NNPC has clarified that it only paid out for outstanding stock, which was in the custody of marketers. But the point is, if the government has found that it's not subsidized petroleum products, then it means that Nigerians have to pay for those petroleum products. The subsidies, at the end of the day, have been shown by all the research available, both locally and internationally, not to be of any value whatsoever to the common man. The subsidies tend to subsidize a lot of smuggling to countries outside, to neighboring countries. They subsidize a lot of operations of organizations and persons who can afford it. They don't really subsidize the common man. So in real terms, in view of the range of all the issues which we are suffering from the COVID-19 and all the others, what is important really is that there's a bit more transparency on the part of government to broad-based palliatives that could be of actual impact on Nigerians.
Now, the PPMC had announced the new price some 24 hours after Moman had called for an increase to around 155 naira per litre as the right price. Now, with this, of course, with the announcement coming at 151 naira, how do you expect the marketers to take this?
Well, the marketers will be concerned, I believe, about their operational costs and whether the guiding retail price is consistent with the operational costs which they face. And that's why I say, even as it is, in the absence of the PPMC price, I believe, I can't say for sure, but I believe that is ex-depot. So if PPMC has set 151 as ex-depot, then if you do add logistics costs relating to trucking, that will probably be in the range of about 2 to 3 naira. Then the marketers requesting for 155 naira may actually be within range. But that's subject, of course, to whatever PPPRA eventually comes up with. So the point which I want to make is simply that if we are indeed within a deregulated pricing regime for petroleum products, where NNPC is no longer subsidizing, then this is what we should be expecting.
Oh, is there a possibility of a decline in price in the near future?
Of course, the petroleum products pricing is volatile, and global developments would determine what exactly happens. So we've had of course, you witnessed what happened with COVID, where oil prices crashed to at a point less than $10, and that saw a crash in prices. So we really don't know what to expect now. What will determine it is really global developments at the political and economic commercial levels. However, for Nigeria, what we should be focused on is really weaning ourselves from the dependence on the global pricing regime. And the way to do this is to have a sustainable and independent sourcing of products which is exclusively local. That will remove the foreign exchange components which drive the prices which we see today. So if all production is within country and that production is based on Naira values, then we'll see a significant reduction. And I must say that this will not simply be achieved by, say, Dangote refinery coming on stream, because the Dangote refinery coming on stream will still be based on crude oil, which Dangote will be obtaining at market-based pricing. However, if there is an arrangement where we see the what we currently have, where a certain volume of local production is dedicated for use in petroleum products refining, then we may have that kind of swap arrangements between the Dangote refinery and the Nigerian government,
All right.
which the operations based on a Naira-based value.
All right, Chairman, OTL Africa Downstream, Emeka Akabogu, thanks for sharing some of your time with us this morning.
Thank you very much.